Hey everybody, it's David Laroche, and I'm so glad to do a new interview. She is Melissa G. Wilson, and Melissa is one of the world's leading experts on the development of networks. And she is also the author and co-author of 10 top-selling books. And one of her books was featured on the Oprah Winfrey Show. According to you, Melissa, how to establish rapport?
Rapport is the building of a a positive connection. You talked about connections. So think of the concept of opening up a relationship before closing a deal, closing a business deal.
Hmm.
You can't achieve success without first opening a relationship.
Yes.
And most people, if you think about sales, if you think about marketing the way it used to be, it was about pushing your message.
Mm.
Now it's about caring and figuring out what that other person cares about, to ask questions, to connect, to offer what we call, in networlding, we have something called 7 levels of support. So there are ways to support people. So there's emotional support.
Yes.
You promote them. There's promotional support. There's information support, as I'm sharing today.
Hmm.
But if you take information to a higher level, you've got knowledge support,
Yes.
is sharing your experiences. So you're saying, here's what I've experienced. Maybe I spend 10,000 hours. I'm going to cut it down for you. Then you get to wisdom support. That's the 20% that can yield an 80% result. So that's another support I can offer. In
Mm.
networking, we say, if you keep offering this support to others and then also requesting support, that's an exchange.
Yes.
Then you get to transformational opportunities, such as a transformational opportunity. Networlding was co-authored with the first chief marketing officer of Motorola.
Mm.
Motorola was at one time had 80,000 people. So I found Jocelyn, who co-authored the book with me,
Hmm.
and basically I used that process to create this amazing relationship that is probably yielded about $2 million of dollars made. But even more importantly for me, it's the friendship, the caring, the giving. With networking, we give back 30 to 40% through mentoring. I love to mentor young professionals. And so it's what we call a virtuous circle.
Yes.
We do well and we do good in the world.
Oh, so you have to focus on what you can give and be
Yeah.
clear on how you can receive to do a win-win exchange.
Yes. Yes. And many people, what we did is so much research, like Malcolm Gladwell, when he wrote The Tipping Point, that's become, it still is very high up. Networlding is the tipping point process turned into a system with guidebooks that people can use. We've got a team leader guidebook. We've got all kinds of tools that people can use to figure out, okay, well, what do I do to take that knowledge of networks and actually build a network for, as we say, the greater good, and for lots of, I mean, you can accomplish anything through building successful networks. You can make lots of money. You can create lots of friendships. Look at Lady Gaga. She has many followers. You've got a lot of notorieties. Look at Oprah. Think about Oprah. In
Yes.
networking, we talk about a power of 10 circle, and Gladwell talks about it in The Tipping Point. Oprah has Susie Orman, Dr. Phil, Nate. If you start adding up her group, she's got about 10 amazing people that she promotes. And then she's got a secondary circle. We call the 10 the primary circle, and the other a secondary. And even people have what are called tertiary circles or networks.
Mm.
So I teach the science of networks, but my practice has made it to make it easier, more fun, and really help people so that they can do it faster and better.
Okay, thanks, Melissa. And you talk about networking, and I'm not sure that every people know what is it. How you can define it?
Yes, the definition is building mutually beneficial relationships for transformational opportunities. So, say for example, if I built a relationship with you, which I am doing now,
Yes.
because you cared to reach out, so I'm hopefully you're learning something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully the people who will listen to this to this whole podcast, this I guess I'll call it this interview, they will be benefited, and if they tell their friends will be benefited. But and I should say not but and I continue to do more. Let's say I get a television show and I contact you because we've stayed in touch. Then maybe you come to Chicago and you do something and you're on television and then you have a TV program all over the world. Anything is possible. That's what the research is showing us. So we have an assessment in networlding. There's so many tools that we offer for free that people can use so they can take advantage and leverage and help others and make the world a better place through networlds.
Okay, thank you. And to continue in this domain, um, how to initiate the conversation. In your book, you have five. You have shake. I don't know how to pronounce it. Shake them up, shake them
Yes.
up. Questions. So, could you give me and give us some example of how to initiate conversation?
Yes, and which a lot of people want to know. When you ask somebody one great question, whether you're interviewing for a job or you're creating a relationship,
Yes.
and I'll ask you to answer this one is, what are the three things that jazz you the most on a regular basis?
The fact to help people to be inspired, help you to be inspired uh,
Yes,
in doing
yes,
speaking. It's the first one.
yes,
And the second one, I love to discover and meet people and do interviews. I love that. I love
yes.
that. And the third one, I love to watch movies.
Yes, me too. You see, so that's what all of them are things that resonate with me that I connect to. So now we have lots of things to talk about. We could talk about movies. I could talk about French movies because I like to watch movies from Europe. I love Europe. Europe is my favorite. I love to go to Europe. I love to go to I think we're going to Paris next year. So we'll
Oh,
have to connect.
yes.
And and so you see that brings people closer together. And so that's a great question because it gets them focused on their heart. And that enthusiasm connects to you and you feel you can add something. So that generates and ignites wonderful conversations.
Mm,
Now, the next thing is use the acronym ASK. Awaken with a question,
okay.
and that's the A. Spin out, the S is spin out with more and better questions. And K is kindle and ignite with action questions. So, another question with the S, if I asked you a spin out question out of the three, I would say, taking those three passions, tell me one short story. What is one short story where you have uh, that passion, one of those passions is ignited, developed.
Mm,
So the ask, the awaken with a question, spin out with more and better questions, and then kindle and ignite with action questions. The K is what's one thing that you could do differently tomorrow
mm.
to even inspire more people.
To improve your level.
A little bit, which adds up. I call it iterative adoption. small changes over time. So that's a powerful idea. And then one other question is, what's the best question you've ever been asked? Keep asking that question and then collect all the good questions. Do you know who Seth Godin is?
No?
Seth Godin is considered to be
Oh,
the
sorry, Seth Godin.
this is his new book. He raised almost $350,000 pre-selling this book on a site called Kickstarter. And this is an amazing book. It's all about thinking of yourself as an artist in your life.
Mm.
This is Seth's book. Now, a book that we talked about, Networking is Dead. This is my current book that when I worked with Seth, I was one of 70 on what was called a street team. We were from all over the world, and we helped Seth bring out 10 books last year. This year, he brought out the Icarus Deception. I brought out this book that is selling all over the world, and this is like the 1 Minute series, the 1 Minute Manager. It's a story.
Okay.
So this is an interesting book, and one book that, I should say, anyone who would buy this book, I love to give things away, and this is relevant, and this is what I say when I make connections. This book I have as a PDF that I would send to anyone. This has a connective place in it, and it's a story also. We call it a modern business fairy tale for networlding, and it takes place, one of the places it takes place in is Paris.
Okay.
It starts in Spain and moves to Paris, and I feel like this is telling the story of our connection now. So this is it's called the Nanosecond Networlders. So if anybody gets Networking is Dead and sends me a receipt from Amazon, I will definitely send you this one. Because in networlding, what we did, networlding became number 10 on Amazon for a year here in Chicago. And in London, it was big. It came out in 2000. This book was written after. What we did is we formed circles of 10, all over the world. And we connected. I was in London 2 years ago with a group that started. So what people do in networlding is they'll get the books, they practice, and then I help them. The goal is to build relationships faster and better and more impactfully. And the Networking is Dead book was co-authored with a colleague of mine, who was the head of learning for American Express. So I have all these amazing relationships with people who want to be creative and care and help people become artists and achieve their passions, so that they aren't, if they want to, they can be a painter, they can be a writer, they can be they could be out with television shows or radio shows, or they could be a teacher, they could be a speaker.
Yes, I think so. Everybody can reach their own dream.
Yes, everybody can. And then this book, this is the fun one. This I helped 3 young women. It's called Chi-Town Girls, and you can look at chytowngirls.com, SHY, Town Girls. It's like a Sex in the City for Chicago. And this was a mentoring project, me helping 3 young women get better starts. So we produced this book in 4 months, and it's really a good book. We're excited. We're being asked now to see if we can create a TV series. That it all sounds good, and it will take time, but we're going to do 3 more novels. So this is a sequel. They'll have additional novels. But it shows you that anybody can do it, and the goal is for all of us to help one another achieve our goals.
I'm watching your website, Chi-Town Girls.
Yes. Yes, it's a really fun website, and I'm so excited about it because I, in order to really understand where this world is now, we're in a renaissance time with creativity. This is what I say is windows are closing, but there are windows opening.
Yes.
And figure out what window is opening. Right now, this is such a rich renaissance time.
Hmm.
So we should look at ourselves. If there's an artist in you, figure it out, find a network or a networld, and practice building your art, because you may open up and discover that you could take a whole different path in life that's bolder, prosperous, very, very successful.
Hmm. Yes. Thank you very much for all these answers. Um, I would like to go to the second part of the interview about how to how to publish a book, how to write a book, and do you have advices
Yeah.
concerning concerning how to write a bestseller book?
Yes, yes. I have on networlding and you can click on my blog and subscribe to it. I am always sharing a lot of information for free,
Yes.
and I'm not trying to build a huge group of people at this point who pay $700 to learn my secrets. I take on 10 authors a year and I help them take their book from beginning to publishing to marketing.
Yes.
My model isn't helping thousands at 700 or $1,000. It's helping 10 who really invest a lot and say, I want to do a book, write a book. Two of my authors got agents and book deals this year. Others wanted to self publish. Now, the good news is you can self-publish today. If I were someone, I would self-publish. I would start, I would try, and you will. You can make money, but do not sacrifice the quality. So in American dollars, if you're going to spend money, I would say save up about $5,000 to get your book published and to get your website set up, a blog site, a Twitter page, a Facebook page, a Pinterest page. Take the time to do it well, get a great editor, get a great cover, look at the people you admire, look at their covers, look at what they've done, analyze, just as if we were going to become doctors, we would analyze a skeletal structure.
Yes.
What I do is I say, look at 5 to 10 books that are like your book you want to write.
Hmm.
Look at inside, because you can, on Amazon, you can look inside the book, right?
Yes.
Look at the chapters, create a spreadsheet, put the name of the book, the name of the author, the date the book came out. When you look at the book, it will say Amazon rank. Put the rank down. The lower the number, the better the rank. If it's number 1, number 500, number 10,000, there are at least 2 million, 3 million books on Amazon. So you're looking at ranks that are maybe up to 100,000 or 300,000. Look at those books. See when they were published. If they were published and you're writing a book on technology and you have a book that is published and you want to do one on Twitter and it was published 3 years ago, a lot has changed. I'm,
Yes.
I'm one of the LinkedIn top trainers, and LinkedIn changes pretty much every 3 months. So you can keep updating a book. That's why books and technology are better self published, I think, where
Mm.
you can keep, because you can keep changing them. You can use a site like CreateSpace, which is owned by Amazon. It costs you nothing to upload a PDF of a book.
Mm.
And then you're usually like Chi-Town Girls or this one. These two are books that I published on CreateSpace. They're beautiful books. They're done very well. Back cover, spine. You want to remember to have that. there's a special program where you put in a code for the price on the back. This way my book can sell into bookstores if I choose to. So there all these little pieces are things to do with a book, and the idea of a bestseller is look at those 5 to 10 books on Amazon, see how many chapters are in each one of those books, write out the chapters in a column. Look at the pattern of what people said they like about the book. Look at the pattern of what people say they didn't like. Write those highlights down. Then let it go for a couple days. When you go back, you are going to see that you have a path to write a book where it's when your book comes out, it's going to fit as a complementer to all the other books out there. So most people write the book, they come to me, oh, I wrote a book and I want to write this book, that book, this book, and none of them connect together. And I say, no, you shouldn't have done that. Start slowly, slow down to speed up, really do the analysis. And then another thing is most nonfiction books I have found have about 10 chapters. If you start with 10 and you even mind map it, you make 10 circles. When I do writing workshops, I do them twice a year. I just have about 8 people. And people come in and then they pay $500 and they get all this and they go away with an outline.
Yes.
A good writer, ghostwriter, will tell you if you give them a good outline, they can write a best-selling book.
Okay, so
Good outline.
you have to study the book you prefer.
Yes, the ones that could be complementers. And you'd want to review the books because if you support 10 books, for example, if you reviewed these 2 books, The Networking is Dead and The Nanosecond Networlders,
Yes.
and then you reviewed other books like it, and then you said, Melissa, I think The Nanosecond Networlders offers support in this way. Networking is Dead offers additional support in this way. I have an idea for a book on building networks in Europe. No one's ever done a book like that. That's true. Would I endorse it? Yes. Would other people endorse it? Yes. So now you do reviews on these other books, and those people who are there in that space will support you, compliment you. And if they don't, they shouldn't have written that book in the first place. Because worlding is, and connecting is about building these mutually beneficial relationships.
Okay.
Just if you breathe out, when we exhale, we give life to trees. Trees give oxygen to us. In Chicago, they said an average tree here is worth about $35,000 a year. So it's the idea that if I've given you $1 million worth of ideas, that either give it back, as a thank you, give it back, pay it forward. And I look at paying it forward as the number 4. Pay it to 4 more people. Go share. Go spread the word. In your interview today, we hope that you will share this and that people will get it and they'll share it with their friends.
Yes.
So that's the idea. And it's the same with a book. So really look at your book, position it well so you're a complementer. This is like the Michelangelo. I'm trying to remember who had the quote, but they said, I know, it was actually Michelangelo who said, I didn't create the David, I discovered it. So discover through the books where you fit and where you can complement, because there's still room. And then a fiction book, I would start with 10 chapters, 14 chapters with a fiction and 10 with a nonfiction. And there are so many things to teach in these areas. And for people who want to know more, I think, the thing is just keep learning about, look at your niche. But the more you study, complement your books. I think that's the way to go. Build your outline. Support others who are the complementers, and start sharing the wisdom from what you're learning. And with the bestsellers. The good thing about when you create the books, these books are also ebooks. They're also on Kindle. I think this one is either 99 cents or $2.99. This one is more like $6.99. The Chi-Town Girls is $2.99. You can turn your book, your designer, it's easy. It's called a Mobi extension, Mobi. Kindles are selling hardback and softback 2 to 1 over the softback books.
Hmm.
These books cost about $3 a piece to buy. So that's why I sell most of our books for they're about $9.97 in US dollars. So the other thing is you get the property of your book is your own for life plus 75 years here in the US. I'm not sure what it is in Europe. So if you're going to invest in your book and put even 5,000 into it or whatever that equals for you, you can look at it as at least a 3 year, assess it over 3 years, because you can also update your book for $30. You can update it on Amazon, and it goes, it will publish out there. On Kindle, one of the things you can do is you can change prices on your book at any time. So on Kindle, a lot of people do what's called pulsing, where you bring the price down to 99 cents, or you offer it through Kindle Select, and you're offering it for free, but you're still making money back from the book because Kindle has a loan library and they pay out the dollars to the authors who do that.
Hmm.
So yesterday I had one author who had his book downloaded almost 1,500 times. His book is #1 under diets. It's called Why Diets Are Failing Us, and it was #2 under health and wellness. And I think it's at least it's under 10,000 in the Amazon for softback now. So one does have a good opportunity. And I would just explore and see where you fit in and where that passion connects to the 5 or 10 books that you're researching.
Okay, it's great. I will do it because um, I will write a book about how to succeed when you are youth.
Yes, yes.
Yes, and I would like to help youth and young people to be inspired and to succeed. And I will try your tips.
Yes, and I call my initiative Leadership 2129, helping young professionals, young people get better starts. So I will definitely endorse that and support it, and I'm passionate about that. I'm sure you'll do very, very well, David, very well.
Thank you very much.
And what I do with any young person is if I can mentor them for free, I mentor at least 5 to 10 young professionals a year. I'm happy, to keep helping support you and sharing, because there's no way that I could tell you all the hundreds and hundreds of things I know. My goal is to keep giving you the 20% though. And it does evolve. Things are changing so rapidly. So feel free to stay in touch and, ask for support, because that's one of the best secrets. Young professionals who ask for support and they are appreciative, they get support. And this is your time to do that. This is a great time for your next 5 years to just really connect with people who love to mentor.
Okay, I'm doing it, and I will do more. um, so next question I would like to know. We have a few. We ever have answers, but I would like to ask you how to create opportunities according to you.
What I would do on LinkedIn, I would definitely have a LinkedIn account.
Yes.
It does grow by 2 people a second, 1 million every 6 days, and it's over 200 million now. The what I'm hearing is that if you have 2,000 connections, that you become a magnet for others. So the best way to start building your connections is to search out the Lions, the LinkedIn Open Networkers, Lions. That's why they're called the Lions. I was one of the first Lions. Christian Mayad, Mayaud, was the starter of the Lion movement. There are Lion groups in LinkedIn. I would be looking for people who have similar and complementary interests to yours who are Lions. And I would build an infrastructure with them. And then I would be looking under companies where, I would probably look for the smaller companies first, 200 to 500 employees. And then I would start searching. You can go to the advanced search page off of the main page.
Mm-hmm.
Click on advanced, and then most people don't see this. Down at the bottom of that page on the left side, you can sort by connections. If you sort by connections, it sorts by the people who have the most connections. If you get those people and you like they are, connect with them because they're more open networkers. And we say they are ready, willing, and able to connect. So that's how I build your network. So I get 40% of my business from LinkedIn because people constantly are coming to my site and they see my headline. That's what pulls up first. So create a good headline. That's another tip. It's my headline says, "Ask me how you can write a great book in 4 months or less." That brings a lot of thought leaders. And then I outline it in my summary. And then I also give under contact, I give my phone number and email address so people can connect better. So I've made it what Seth Godin, who's #1 in marketing, would say, I've made it smooth and easy for people to connect. And I'm very specific as to what I do. So that's what I would do. I would find the great people, the great connections, and request to, remember, open up a relationship. And then you can ask them, what are the 3 things you're most passionate about currently? And one other question I ask whenever someone connects with me on LinkedIn, what made you decide to connect? I just talked to a woman yesterday who's just finished a book, and she asks that all the time. She said it's the best thing she's asked because most people don't realize that they could answer that question as they connect with you. So if you ask them, it opens up the relationship.
Okay, so the tip is to use LinkedIn and to connect with a lot of people in filter in selecting them, in filtering them about how many connections they have and what are their passions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I will try and I will share on my blog what I make with it.
Yes, you will meet some wonderful people. And you can sort on that advanced search page under all kinds of things, under keywords. So, for example, if you sorted under the word integrity in their profile, and then you sort by the people who have the most connections with that word. Remember to do the sort by most connections. You're going to find people who are very values driven. So be clever. I've sorted by Girl Scouts. I've sorted by golf. Somebody was building a golf business, a corporate golf business, and found thousands of connections that way. So you can get very, very clever. If you have more than one word you're using in keywords, don't forget to put quotes around it. So, there are so many ways to sort and build. I've met people who've been Broadway playwrights. I've met the producer of the movie Pretty Woman.
Mm-hmm.
He did with me. He's in my group. I have a networlding group on online. So Gary, I'm trying to remember Gary's last name. Within minutes, I was talking to him, talking about the movie. It was really exciting.
Yes.
So I've met amazing people. Think out of the box. Think very uniquely to find people. Oh, here's another idea. Look at TED. Uh, TED, which is all about inspiring
Yes,
ideas.
Ted, it's very wonderful.
Yeah, so look at TED, find people there, then see if they're on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a nice bridge to find people. Facebook is another. And what you want to do if you're on Facebook, so the lines are LinkedIn is the boardroom, Facebook is the barbecue, Twitter is the cooler. So around the water cooler, and but you want to praise people first, connect with them, find something that they're sharing that you appreciate,
Mm.
and then you can make a request for them to look at your blog, because in social media too, the blog is the epicenter. So that's important. And there will be more tools out there. I would welcome you, and you need to make specific requests. I'd welcome you to subscribe to my blog, subscribe to the Chi-Town Girls blog, and then make a reciprocal request to have me do that for you. So those are the kinds of things that you want to keep doing, where you make a request, offer support, make a request.
Mm. Okay. It's wonderful. I just try how to sort my results. I didn't knew before. So thank you very much. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. It is, it's all about the great connections. So, the concept of you're only as strong as your weakest link. And in networlding, there's a man named Tom Hill. He says, you're the sum total of the 10 people you spend the most time with. That's our power of 10 circle. That's why we say, definitely go out and find the 1,000. But think about who your 10 are. And every year I read one book 3 times. That's why I ended up on Seth Godin's Domino Project Street Team. I doubled my revenues by doing that. It's so counterintuitive. It doesn't make sense. Look at the leaders and follow one leader a year, read one book a year at least a couple times. It will make all the difference. The many doesn't beget the many. The few beget the many. So focus and develop. And that's how, when I met Jocelyn, within a year, I was working at Motorola. I had a $500,000 account, and we were studying marketing around the world. Larry, who is my co-author on Networking is Dead, I
Hmm.
met 10 years ago, and I worked at American Express, and it was wonderful working with all their top leaders. I worked at Office Depot when Jocelyn moved to Office Depot, and her budget there was $350 million a year. She, we did events there for networlding. She's now traveling around the country, and she's on 4 corporate boards. Those relationships came because I didn't try to have 5,000 friends. I focused on 10. I do have 6,500 connections on LinkedIn, and I have my core circle of 10 where I spend the most time. So the reason I was on Seth Godin's Domino Project team was because I studied him. So when one day he said, he has 2 million followers. He said, I'm going to pick 70 people to help me redefine publishing. I saw what he sent. If I had been looking at all these other books, I would have never have seen that message. I looked at all these other thought leaders. So follow one you really admire, who, like me, take the time to really share, slow down to speed up. Don't be confused with um, lots of activity. Don't confuse activity with accomplishment. So the other book I read this year 3 times is called Influencer. It was
Mm.
the largest study of influence ever done. And that's what I did, is I deconstruct those books and I look at what they did. They did research. They found, you know, they do the research, and then they figure out the steps. That's what I did with networlding. I have the 7 steps in networlding. Networlding has been licensed by Yale University. It was licensed by Motorola University. It's the same thing in influencer. They found, I'm not sure how many steps there are, but they found like 7 things that impact influence. And then they tell 7 great stories. And they tell them over and over. And they have one cornerstone story in the first chapter. That's one of the secrets of writing a bestseller. Great stories. And the last but not least with publishing, I'll tell you my pie formula for writing a book. So 30% is the crust. Stay with that outline for 2 weeks at least and really work on it. Remember, 10 chapters start with for a nonfiction, 14 chapters for a fiction. Also note, here's one other little side piece. You probably can't see it, but we make the print larger. Even 20-something-year-olds like larger print. We're all getting eye strain now. An average book now is about 150 pages. It is no longer 200 and something. It depends, though. In this case, this one ended up at about right at 151. And a lot of people that don't want to read books that are longer. So it's a very interesting time with that. So back to the pie formula. 30% is the crust. 60% are what we call, or what I call, the feds. The facts, examples, and details. In other words, the great stories. So if you're looking for a great book, we have something called the Hero Report here. I'm sure you have something similar. You can do a Google alert on stories, like on your subject. If you're writing a book on inspiration or whatever it is that you want to write it about, David, you can Google alert and say, Google alert stories or Google alert CEO stories. If you want to see what leaders are thinking about, Google alerts, you could do inspirational CEO stories. You can try different things. With our Hero Report, HARO, it's free, and you can query. You could say, I'm authoring a book. I did this. I said, I'm authoring a book on building networks, and I'd like to know the difference that CEOs, if you're a CEO, the difference you've seen on how you build your business today versus 3 years ago. I got tremendous stories. So you could pick 3 or 4 stories out of that. You could also do some research. You want to find some research studies. That's what Gladwell did in The Tipping Point. He found a number of research pieces that showed some big ideas. Those are called evergreen books. If you get these, 7 great stories with a great outline, with, we always also put, what people also said they liked in this book is, we put summaries at the end of each chapter. Everybody loves that.
Yes, I love that too.
Because they read it and they're going, okay, well, how do I apply it? So people love that. Also in networlding, which, this is the original networlding
Yes.
book. And this is, people could still get it used. We do have an update. We haven't brought it out yet, Jocelyn and I. We actually have it all. We've recorded it on Blog Talk Radio. So if you wanted to go listen to it all, you could hear Jocelyn. It is amazing because, she's done it. She's been at the mountaintop. She's done it. First chief marketing officer of Motorola, and opened up Latin America for Motorola. And she's also African American. So this is Jocelyn here. Here's Jocelyn. So she challenged the CEO of Motorola to send in an African American woman to open up Latin America, saying, gosh, why not? Don't make everyone look like you, have diversity. So he took her challenge, and what happened was, in Latin America, where there's so much more about family and connection, I shouldn't say so much more, they're very much about that, which is wonderful. They decided that their attitude was, well, if Chris Galvin, who was the president at that time, the son of the founder of Motorola, if Chris sent Jocelyn, then she must be the best. So they opened her, they welcomed her with open arms. So understand that you don't want to ask the question, what doesn't work? All you care about is what does. Just keep looking for the success stories, and they're out in front of you everywhere. And
Mm.
you can see, like we talked about on Amazon, you can see by their numbers. You can look inside. Everything is transparent in this thought leader world. I'm a thought leader marketing expert. My number one passion is helping other people. Well, number one is helping young people get better starts. Number two is helping people, thought leaders, write books that change the world. And that's the kind of thing that is available now. Everyone has access to. And if you're inspired, keep marching, as they say, as the saying is, march confidently in the direction of your dreams, and you will be met. Actually, I believe I want to say Emerson said that. Emerson or Thoreau. You will be met with a the idea is with rapid success. Don't give up. Just keep marching forward. And understand that no matter what, you will find those people who will come, will help you, will want to read what you have to share, will want to listen to what you have to say.
Wow, it's it's a great end to the interview. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
for all your advice. I love it, and uh, I will um, I will see my own interview to get every advice you give me. And so thank you very much.
Thank you, and happy to help. And I look forward to having you here in Chicago.
Yes. So we finish the interview. If you would like to share a final message to my audience, you can. And what if you want?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is for people to know that there are many others who care about them and never feel alone.
So thank you very much, Melissa.
Thank you.